Hey guys, this is the second video, and we're going to talk today about there's an ocean of oil under our feet. No one can get at it but me. As is a line from one of my favorite movies, There Will Be Blood. We're going to talk about WTI crude oil today. But first, as part of this, a tradition of my videos, I'm going to go over my previous play and keep you updated on kind of how it panned out. Because whether I make have a win or a loss, or a good call or a bad call, I want to hold myself to account. I don't want to be an influencer where I just highlight my wins and that's all you guys see. It's just so it seems like I got this 100% success rate ratio because no trader in the world has that. The average successful, profitable trader probably has a 60 to 70% success rate. So every trade that I previously commented on, we're going to go back and look at it. So very briefly, I am going to go over. Actually, we're going to go over gold. So this trade just didn't work out. I still stand by all my technicals, but we're in an extremely volatile market right now where good setups can quickly become failed setups. And that's why sometimes it just makes sense to position yourself a little smaller than what you might normally go in at because the market can have other ideas. We're in a news driven market. Um, and the technicals are always clashing with the news. Often the technicals actually front run the news, but sometimes they can be unwound by certain events come out, and usually it's you have something like this week where we had the expectation that Trump was going to basically bomb Iran into the end of civilization, and I noticed today there was so much fear mongering in the media that I got pretty nervous holding my bearish positions longer than today's trading day. And I said that in the Discord, the Stocks with Josh Discord, in my money team. I said, guys, I'm basically like I was short crypto all day and I was up. And I said, you know what? I just got a bad feeling as a bear that there's going to be there's so much negativity about this event of Trump's deadline. It just seems like it just seems like too easy money to be a bear. And being a bear, one the best trades I have when I'm a bear were seemingly hard trades. Like no one, it would have been scary for the average person to enter, and that's why it was usually profitable, right? Because few are willing to take it. When it's a crowded trade, there's not as much money to go around, right? So usually you get the opposite. If I'm thinking something's going to go down, usually there's no more sellers, so the buyers it just takes a few buyers and price goes against your position. And it's the opposite. If you want to go long the market, everyone else is probably greedy, which means there's not many buyers left, meaning only people can sell. So that's how the investor psychology works. And when you start understanding that, it's kind of becomes next level. So I really want to talk about crypto because crypto is doing something very interesting today. I just to be clear with crypto, gold. We were briefly profitable actually in this trade today, but you can see it did get invalidated. So again, my levels, guys. Even if I'm gonna have a losing trade, my levels are almost like so precise, and I stand by them. And that's why when I have people in my Discord following me on a trade and they don't get out when I get out, they're doing themselves a disservice. They're better off just not following me. You have to be able to know where you're wrong in a position or where the trade. It's not even about being wrong. It's just where did the setup fail? Setups can be valid until they're invalid, right? And that's why we don't go all in on one position. So you can see gold. I mean, as soon as it broke here, I actually got out a little bit earlier because I was sort of like 46.80 was really important resistance for the bears to defend, and they didn't today. And so I got stopped out around 46.90. I was actually day trading some shorts, so I got cooked there too. It wasn't a great trade. I'll be up front. But I'm okay. I mean, gold, I've already made 125% shorting it up at 5,000 down to 45, I believe, and then made an additional 43% last week after Trump's speech crashed the price from 48 to 46 or something. So it's all good. I do want to get into oil. The metals trade right now is invalidated if you're going short. I'm in some silver puts. I did end up picking those up. I probably should have closed them, knowing the technicals were flipping. Yeah, look at silver. Wow. I mean, that's a great move. So yeah, it just the setup got invalidated, guys. That it for now, right? And this is the thing that's important to understand. If I was a bear stuck in this position, bears would say, "Well, I don't want to sell because you're still bearish, Parker, over the next few months on the metals, which I am. So why would I not cut? Why would I not hold and wait for price to come back?" Well, because at what point, when you get into any trade, you have to ask yourself, at what point do you protect capital? If you're not able to do that, you're just going to lose all your money, right, over time. Because sometimes you're just going to be dead wrong, and the trade isn't going to come back. So, and the other reason is if I'm still medium term bearish on the metals, which I am, and not clearly I wasn't right short term, but if I am medium term, if I get out at my level where the trade fails, 80% of the time, I'm going to get a better entry to reshort later if I want to. And I already have that. I could literally reshort, well, not silver because I'm already in that position. So I'll be down on that tomorrow. But gold, I mean, it's already at 48.9. It's gone up over $100, $120 since I sold. So, yeah, though there's something to keep in mind. I do want to talk about oil, and I don't want you to think I'm talking about this today because, oh, look, Parker, you called oil right. Of course, you're cherry picking your winners. I'm not. The plan today actually was for me to come out and say, hey guys, am I wrong about my oil call? And you might say, where's your oil call? If you go to my Instagram, Parker Does Wealth, I said last week that oil was topping out. The charts were indicating that, and I was told I was crazy. Oil's going to $200 a barrel. And I said basically the chance of oil going to $200 a barrel was Bitcoin going to 250,000 last year. We know how that turned out. Holy crap, is it coming down right now, guys? It's almost at 95. So this has exceeded my expectations. Um, so oil, let's get into the chart here. This is completely flipped. The premise of this video today was going to be, am I wrong about the oil trade? Now clearly, I can come out and do a little dance because it went. I don't want to say it went exactly according to plan because it was a chop fest for a few days and we almost broke out. We had a fake out, as you can see, above this line of resistance that got rejected. Um, but yeah, so the reality is I have like a few IBIT puts. I closed all of my crypto. I was shorting Mara today. I was shorting ETHA. I was shorting IBIT. I was shorting one other position, I think. Um, yeah, but nonetheless, I closed all of that because I just smelled like it just, there was so much negativity about this deadline with Trump. I just figured, no, it's just when the money's too easy, usually it's going to become hard. So I covered almost all of my crypto shorts except a few IBIT puts, which will be down decently tomorrow. But it's a drop in the bucket because these oil shorts are going to print. I actually got into some Avgo puts looking for some profit taking. That might not work tomorrow. It looks like Avgo has some more room to the upside. But I bought some 1 week options in that same account shorting oil. So it's going to be interesting. I might be flat on that account tomorrow then because those options are going to be up huge. Even though the Avgo puts will probably be down a decent amount. So, anyways, I digress. Let's get into oil. So what we're looking at now, and guys, I do this literally. I don't have any prep work. I just show up on these videos. Obviously, this parallel pre-exists this video, but I want to be clear. Like I'm going off cuff here. So we're just going to talk about the chart and what I see in the short term. And this is what I said. I'm going to summarize my Instagram post. And what I was saying is, I said, guys, we have a very clear topping pattern. This is a rejection candle. I don't care what Tom Lee says. I don't care what any guru on CNBC says about where oil is going. I don't care about what JP Morgan forecasts. This is a topping tail, not a topping tail, but it's a rejection candle that only gets invalidated if you close above the high, around 120. And I said, okay, well, we're just doing classic inside bar, in meaning this is the mother bar, right? This is the first dominant bar. It's called the mother bar. And all price is doing is chopping within the high and low of this bar, mother bar. That's classic inside bar bearish rejection. That's what usually price does before it moves to the downside. Now, I got in with my oil puts and I alerted everyone in the Discord. So guys, you know my receipts, you know I don't do any of this if I told you so. I always alert when I'm getting into positions and I don't hide when I have a loser. I'm very clear. I don't try to cherry pick. I really don't because that's a pet peeve of mine. Any influencer, which I guess I am now if I'm doing these videos in some respect, we just try to focus on the wins and hide the loser. No, I will come out in a second a trade fails. And I'm that's why I want to talk about crypto soon because crypto is very interesting right now. It's very interesting. I do not think the short thesis is over on crypto, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow's video. Um, now, oh wow, it's awesome because oil's still trading right now, and we can actually see the price action. This is unbelievable, guys. 93 a barrel. Wow, you're seeing me react in real time here, guys. This isn't rehearsed. So we this is just why I love TA, guys. This is why, you got to stay in the game long enough to learn all this stuff. Classic. And this is where I wish I bought more. I actually I bought like I didn't mention this in the Discord today. It wasn't a big position. I added a little more to my USO puts, around 113 or 14. It wasn't enough to alert. My dominant position was put in on Friday. So if you guys held with me, congratulations. We're gonna print tomorrow. I don't know if my account still might be flat tomorrow because I did have some bearish positions I didn't fully exit. So that's why I liked keeping. I didn't sell my USO puts. It was rocky for a few days, but I'm like, look, if I get any of the timing wrong with shorting the market, which I can get wrong on occasion, even though my direction ultimately ends up being right, at least I have that in my portfolio for some diversification. So that should make tomorrow not very painful for me. If anything, I might even be slightly profitable because this move is so significant right now. Now look at this, guys. Now this is where I become short-term bullish on oil, right into the bottom of the trend line. No, look at that. Look at the respect. I mean, it could run through and eventually, that wick's going to disappear. But look how we just went right down to the bottom of the trend line. And I said this. If you go, I want to go back to Discord. I don't know if I can open it right now. I'm not going to open it right now, but I said in the Discord that if we rally next week, and I'm going to admit we're rallying maybe a little. I wasn't sure today was going to be bullish. It wasn't until it reversed in the afternoon. Um, but I said in on the weekend, if you follow me in the Stocks with Josh Discord, I told everyone in the public Discord, this wasn't just my money team. I said, wouldn't you be surprised if the market makers rallied us into the start of next week? That's a quote of what I said. And then the next week, crypto finally capitulates and we go back up to the top of the range of this bar. And now, why would that happen? Because in technical analysis, this parallel is not fully mature. And what I mean by that, it's not a fully developed candle, a fully developed channel. And a fully developed channel, you might ask me, is usually about 3 taps per trend line. So you can see we're sort of getting there. There's an argument this is like in its third trimester, I would say, if we're to want to talk, baby terms here, pregnancy terms. This is getting close to maturity. We got 1 tap here, 1 tap there, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so we're getting closer to maturity. When I mentioned this last week, we only had the 2 taps. So this could break. It actually is breaking right now, but it's not even. This candle won't close until tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, it's Wednesday's candle, right? So it's going to be very interesting if this holds. I'm going to start to get bearish on the markets again, because that would be a mean reversion trade, guys, up into at least the middle of the channel, back towards 100. That's $108. I'm a little bit overwhelmed right now because this is like exactly what I was saying. I said I would look for a move down between $93 to $95. It's a quote. It's in the Discord. I want to almost provide my screenshots, but I don't want to do. Okay, you know what? We're gonna just do this. If you guys can bear with me, just because I don't want you guys thinking I'm blowing smoke. Because I will talk about my losers and I'm gonna talk about my wins too, right? It has to work both ways. So here we are in the Discord right now. Where is my commentary? It was from the weekend. Yeah, I think this is it here. Yeah, so you can see right here, I made that sort of facetious comment, oil going to 200 as much as I saw Bitcoin going to 250. Ain't going to happen. And I said, what I could foresee as a catalyst next week that calms oil down to as low as 93 BBL, at least 104. So we've hit 104. Bitcoin rallies up to 71K. Bitcoin is at 71.5. It's actually a little bit past my price target, which is interesting. But yeah, we are now doing exactly what I was sort of thinking would happen with oil. It wasn't an easy trade. I don't want to, like, the market can gaslight you into your own thesis very easily by chopping you around and having fake outs against your position. And guys, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there was a part of me that was like, should I give up on this trade? Because this looked like it was gonna break out yesterday. And here we go. Here we are at the look at this, guys. Look at the bounce. Look at the respect. So anyone getting excited and bullish right now, I'm gonna caution you, right? And I know I Parker, you always caution us. Well, I caution on days you'll notice when people are bullish. I try not to come out and be too much of a bear on bearish days because that's actually being an emotional trader in some way. I think it's more honest. Like, I was coming out when SoFi was $28 and saying, guys, slow down. This thing has massive bearish divergence on the weekly. It's going to $18 probably in the first quarter of next year. Said it. Check the receipts back in November, and now SoFi is $15 or $16. So I don't just show up in bad times as a bear and pound the drum. That's very easy to do. So what I will say is this level at $93 is support until proven otherwise, meaning it is a potential top in the markets until proven otherwise. If oil can break this channel tomorrow, confirm below, meaning close an additional candle on Wednesday beneath that, I mean, then I'm gonna have to do a crypto video and say I got it completely wrong. And I don't think I've ever been wrong on any of my long-term crypto Bitcoin predictions. And that's not a brag. You guys from following me and how accurate I've been, I don't say that as a humble brag. It's just a fact. That I basically got everything right on Bitcoin in the last couple years. Now, there's a time to be wrong. Maybe this is the time. But I'm not fully convinced of this move, and that's all I'm going to say right now. But a lot of it's going to come down to oil. If oil can break this parallel, I mean, Bitcoin is just going to go higher. It's going to go to 80,000. It just will, and I will have to come out and say I got it wrong because I don't play it both ways, guys. You know me. I go with a prediction. I don't do this half and half. It could this, it could that. I go with a thesis, and I think that's what I try to keep it honest. And I don't want to confuse people by always being where the wind takes me. I'm bullish on a good day, bearish on a bad day. I come out with the predictions and I expose myself to failure. So I hope we all can appreciate that. I tell you, I got the metals trade. I wouldn't say I got it wrong. The setup failed, which isn't exactly the same thing. There's a failed setup, and there's just not reading a setup properly, which I don't think I did with metals. I think I read it correctly. It just got invalidated, which can happen in trading. That's how it works. So what we were looking for right now is this to hold a support. If I'm in the oil trade, I'm potentially closing my puts tomorrow, guys. I want to be clear. This I will alert in the Discord to everyone. But I'm looking to maybe settle, cover my short position right here. Now, this could bounce by the morning. Don't be surprised if we see more wick and this body is back within the channel by tomorrow. I want to be clear on that. And this is where you can start getting ahead of the market. And people say don't front run. Yeah, but don't front run if you're just going where the wind takes you and you're trading blind. But if you're doing trend line strategy that I do, you can get ahead of the market. You can be kind of one step ahead of things before people get to positions. I shorted crypto today when people were too scared to short crypto. I covered my positions, most of my positions before the rip. You're just always trying to be that one step ahead of everyone, including the market. Though that's kind of really hard. The market ultimately is the smartest person in the room, the smartest entity in the room. Um, but the trend lines are a little bit of a leading indicator, and I like them for that. They give me a sense of what the market's doing. So there's two scenarios. This either just breaks through like a sieve, just bleeds right through the channel. The markets are just going to go, they're going to rally hard, like shorts cover, get out. We're going to face rip another 5% in the market. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going out on a limb before it happens. That's what I think makes it an honest prediction. I think this is going to be respected. I know we're below the channel right now. I think this will bear trap. Bear trap? Yeah. It's going to bear trap anyone shorting oil. Now, we shorted up here. We were smart. We shorted up at resistance. So even if this wicks back into the channel by tomorrow, which is my prediction it will, then we just get out. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to be legging into, I think, some shorts on crypto. I mean, I can now buy all of my puts that I sold today at better prices, and I'll have a small runner on IBIT that will be down probably 10% tomorrow. It's fine. Um, so that's kind of where I'm looking at it. The USO call, guys, it was fire. It was given in advance. If you got in, you had a little bit of stress Monday and Tuesday, but if you held, you are going to be up huge tomorrow because there's no way oil is going back to 110 overnight. I just don't see that. Where it's almost 8 o'clock here, so Trump's deadline is coming up. This is how the markets work, guys. Don't let the markets jerk you around like this, and this is why I've gotten beaten up so much in the past by trading with my emotions when I started out that I'm only aware of this stuff because I've taken on so many losses by just falling into these traps with the market. And that's why just the experience of like being in a trade and I'm in profit and then the market rug pulls me because I got greedy in a position. I've made that mistake, guys. So that's why I knew today, cover your bearish positions, leave a few runners in case oil rips, and then I'm not going to be in loss tomorrow. I kind of weighted my portfolio 50-50. So truthfully, I'm not going to be up huge tomorrow, even though these puts are going to print. But I'm okay with that because I'm still a bear. I'm still a bear, but I'm in a like 80% cash in my portfolio right now, waiting for this to happen. Because now I'm going to be looking at going short on the market again. This is a great risk reward as if I'm a bear, like going heavier in shorts. Um, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Oil is excellent to study and trade if you're a trader because it is absolutely an inverse play to the market. It's the fear trade that will eventually no longer continue. It'll be interesting to see if oil eventually becomes a momentum trade like the metals did. That's yet to happen. Though it is still in a way a momentum trade, but it's not. It hasn't fallen into the speculation that the metals have. So oil is still being defensive, and it is moving. It is going up when the market's going down. So I'm looking in closing. I would expect this parallel to hold. That's what I'm respecting it until it proves me wrong. Okay, that's how trading works. You respect resistance until it's broken. You respect support until it's broken. You don't. I don't like to really front run a break of support or resistance, right? Especially when we're in sort of this premature pattern. Um, what I would think there's a chance if we hold the market sell off potentially back up to 100, we go up to $108 a barrel. That could be a potential long trade on USO. I might be alerting that. I won't know until tomorrow though, guys. Because the news that came out was that they're just offering to extend this deadline with it's not even a complete ceasefire. There's no agreement in place as far as I've read. This is just kicking the can down the road. So the market is completely overreacting as it does to the upside and the downside. It's pricing it all in ahead of time, and we're getting this huge pump in the market. So if you were a bear, I hope you covered with me. I didn't cover everything, to be clear. I'm going to have some red positions tomorrow, but I am not going to be nearly down as much as I would be because I was decently short today, and my gut was like, no. CNBC's pounding the drum saying, there's going to be death to Iran, and there was so much fear mongering. I just felt that my emotions being manipulated, that I actually got fearful being in my put positions. And that's how you have to think of it as a trader. You have to be one step ahead of the games the market's playing in your mind because you're still a human being. You're still an emotional creature. So when you notice that part of yourself, that's usually a sign to get out of a position. If you're getting really scared about the market, that's actually usually a sign to maybe close your shorts because we might be near a local bottom, and then the opposite. Now I've trained my brain to actually, in these moments, I get more bearish. Because the market is obviously, we're completely short squeezing right now. So that's it for today. I want to talk about crypto tomorrow. It's almost at 72,000. So it is having a very impressive move that I have to ask myself, am I wrong here? Absolutely. I really probably won't know which way crypto's ultimately going until about tomorrow. I want to see where oil closes, and that's going to probably determine if I say, hey guys, I got it wrong. I'll look at, we're breaking support. That's interesting. Again, this could easily turn into a wick, guys. But wow, what a move down. What a move. Don't you wish you bought more? I still have a decent position size on my USO puts. But crypto, so USDT dominance. Okay, that's interesting. We actually broke support here. I'm gonna leave it there though, guys, because I'm gonna leave you in suspense for tomorrow. We'll talk about it more later. But I'm gonna leave that for now, and we'll continue crypto tomorrow. I'm excited to get into the weeds with it with you guys. But I enjoyed the video. Hope you guys did too. See you next time.